Frontiers.
Matt, it's a Future Frontiers episode. We haven't done one of these in a minute.
It's good to be back. Welcome to Future Frontiers, everybody.
Yes, this is the episode where we preview what we've got coming up on the podcast and we discuss the new films and shows that are coming out this month and the things we've been watching just in general. So we've had quite an exciting month recently, haven't we? Like last month, we did a talk at the BFI.
Yes, we were at the BFI London Film Festival, LFF for free, talking AI. Thank you very much to everybody who came to that. We had a lovely chat with a room full of people talking about AI on screen over the last 100 years.
We had a really engaged audience. So like you said, Matt, thanks to everyone who came down for that. It was really good fun. And yeah, it was great just chatting sci-fi with a bunch of like-minded people.
Yeah, so that filled up a lot of our time recently. What else has been filling up your days, James? What have you been watching? What's out at the moment that you've been enjoying?
Oh, there's so many shows out. What have I been watching? I finished Peacemaker Series 2.
Okay, I haven't seen any of that. Is that good?
I really enjoyed it, but it's had a mixed reception. Again, it's very James Gunn. It's a different kind of tone to Superman in terms of, well, it's basically a little more sweary and violent than you got in the Superman film, but it does kind of slot into that franchise quite well. Lex Luthor's character appears later on. You've got him popping up, and it gets very multiversal. But all in all, it was a very good watch. I really enjoyed it. It's fun. It's stupid. It's John Cena being John Cena. John Cena as well. Like, have you seen how he's walking now?
No. What do you mean how he's walking?
He's got like, I think he's having to give up wrestling because he's on his like farewell tour of WWE. So he's doing it for this year. And I think that's going to be it for his wrestling career. But that's because I think he's really badly injured from wrestling for so long and the stuff he's put his body through. So now when you see...
I mean, he's like 50 years old or something, isn't he? Like, I mean, people don't tend to wrestle to that age. It's not particularly forgiving on the body.
But you can see when he walks with a bit more of a hunch now as well.
Does he?
And so he's really been going through it. But in the same breath, he's really sort of going through it with the acting stuff. And he's, like we said before, like wrestlers are naturally good at being actors. I think they've got those kind of personas which lend themselves to that kind of profession.
Yeah. He also doesn't need to wrestle because he's a massive movie star.
I mean, that definitely helps now that he's got that career behind him as well. So Peacemaker, I've been watching that.
I feel like I don't have a way into Peacemaker because I wasn't fully across... It sits across two DC franchises now. I wasn't fully across the last one. I have seen the two Suicide Squad films, but I forget what happens in which one and who ends up where. So I don't feel across the Peacemaker character, and now they've kind of abandoned the universe and then made another series with Peacemaker where it's part of the universe. So I feel a bit alienated from all of that. If I were to watch it, do I have to start from season 1 or do I start from season 2 where James Gunn is in his new universe, or what should I do with that?
I would watch it from the second Suicide Squad film, the one that James Gunn made.
Right.
So watch that, and then you can watch series 1 of Peacemaker. Then Peacemaker series 2 pretty much just goes through the same thing. There's some, like, the multiversal stuff is very, very much just in that particular world. There, you don't go through like hey, now I'm in James Gunn's universe and I was in this other one. They kind of just rewrite the intro of it so that it fits in there. So instead of having the original Justice League that are in the like Zack Snyder films, they've got the Justice Gang from Superman appear, and they've got they've kind of like retrofitted that in there to kind of give it a bit of something different.
Interesting.
So like I really enjoyed that. I've also been watching Gen V, the new Boys series. Again, lots of like ridiculous violence and uncouth humor thrown in there, but it's exactly what you'd expect from one of the Boys spin-off shows. And also Foundation. Foundation has been back. I know we've talked about this on Future Frontiers before, but that's been really interesting going back to. I feel like I need to just binge all of Foundation in one go because there's so much stuff that happens in that series and so many time jumps and things like that. And it feels like something you have to watch one episode after another and just sort of stick with.
Yeah.
But yeah, so those have been the main things I've watched TV-wise. What have you been watching TV-wise?
I finally finished Better Call Saul, and like by some miracle, have never had the ending spoiled for me after all these years. So I was very happy with that. Me and my wife finally finished Better Call Saul. That was great. I have started watching Demon Slayer, James. Now, you're my anime guy.
Demon Slayer, yes.
Yeah, what do you make of Demon Slayer? Because this is like a massive cultural phenomenon that I've been completely oblivious to until the last few weeks where I've started watching it.
I love that you're watching this. We are going to have so many conversations about this. So I went to go and see the new film in the cinema as well.
That's kind of what got me on to it. When I realised what a hit that film was, I was like, I've been too oblivious to this franchise. I need to do my own work.
Well, you've come in at a good point because now you could just watch it all up until this point, because I was watching this as it was coming out, the series. And like the manga finished a while ago now, but Demon Slayer is a really I'd recommend Demon Slayer to anyone who's interested in watching like another anime series. How would you describe the premise of Demon Slayer now, having watched a few episodes?
It's about some guys who slay demons.
Okay, yeah, kind of like that, guys.
It's like feudal Japan, alternate history. Demons are real, and the main guy has a really good sense of smell.
He has a great sense of smell, something which I'm very jealous of, having a very poor sense of smell.
Yeah,
so
it's a great fantasy for you.
So watching this show where he's going around smelling stuff, I have no idea, because I've got a poor sense of smell. But yeah, so Demon Slayer's really good. And like you were saying, like the movie did really big numbers in the box office, and anime movies seem to be becoming like a big thing in cinemas as well, because they are becoming part of the series. So you'd watch a bunch of episodes, you'd follow this show, and then the big movie would come out, and the big movie is a whole other arc in this storyline. So another anime series that they've done that for recently is Chainsaw Man. Like the main character starts off as this kind of like homeless guy who ends up having his heart replaced with the chainsaw demon who he was friends with, who's like this cute little dog. And then it gets more and more weird, and most of his reasoning for fighting these demons and stuff is so he can do stuff like touch this girl's boobs, and it's very sort of like teenagey humor stuff, but it's also like incredibly violent and lots of fun. And they've released the movie of that recently, and again, that's like moving on from the series into a film, so it feels like you have to go to the cinema to see the film so you can find out what's happening after that, so you can continue on. So that's like a very clever sort of marketing thing they're doing with these anime films now.
Very exciting stuff. There's also Jujutsu Kaisen in the cinemas. I've never seen any of that either, but yeah, they're all very big at the moment, aren't they?
Yeah, Crunchyroll, the streaming site for anime, is just obviously getting a lot of money through these cinema releases. But it's great to see anime in the cinemas. I'm really excited by that.
But what sci-fi is in the cinemas at the moment, James?
Okay, let's talk new releases in the cinema. Bugonia. Have you seen Bugonia yet, Matt?
No, my local Odeon cinema is being pretty unforgiving with the screenings of Bugonia. I really want to see Bugonia, but I think I'm going to be waiting until it's on streaming. I hope it's going to come to Disney, because Lanthimos' last couple of films have been on Disney. So I'll be able to watch it there. But I don't think I'm going to catch it in the cinemas, because it's getting like one screening a day at my local, which is a real shame. I really want to see it, but I don't think I'm going to get the chance.
Yeah, I really hope you get the chance, because I'd love to discuss it with you. But for our listeners, a very brief sort of outline of what it's about. It's a comedy directed by Yorgos Lanthimos, as you just said there, Matt, and it's starring Emma Stone and Jesse Plemons. And it's set around two conspiracy-obsessed guys who kidnapped the CEO of a mega company, and they believe that she is an alien. And it goes down a lot of twists and turns. You never quite know what's going to happen next. Following Jesse Plemons' character and his cousin just being bumbling kidnappers is really good fun. And it's just like a very interesting film. It's exactly the kind of thing you'd expect from Yorgos Lanthimos, but I really, really enjoyed it, and I never quite knew where it was going to take me next. So if you get a chance, I would definitely recommend watching Bugonia in the cinema, or at the very least, as soon as it comes on streaming.
Yes, I will be watching it at my earliest convenience, James. I'm very frustrated with Odeon over this, but I will watch it as soon as I can. A film that I have seen a big release in the sci-fi landscape is Predator Badlands, which at the time of recording has really only just come out. And I was very excited, but trepidatious for this one. But that's new in cinemas at the moment as well. What do you think about Predator Badlands?
I really liked Predator Badlands. It takes the Predator franchise and puts it in a space opera kind of setting. It's following a young predator, or as we find out, a yautja. That's what they call them. That's what the predator species is
As if
called.
you didn't already
As
know
if I
that,
didn't
James.
know.
As if.
And it's following it from the predator's perspective. And Dan Trachtenberg has done a really good job of changing what you would expect from a predator film. And if you ask me, he's done this in a very interesting way that I thought was going to come off as too cheesy, but I think he hits the landing with this one. You talked about like Odeon a minute ago. You went to go and see a very, very early morning screening of this one, didn't you?
Yeah, so I can't see Bugonia at Odeon, but I can see Predator Badlands at 10 a.m. on a Saturday. Now, hey, don't get me wrong, I'm grateful that I was able to see that, because I that was the only time I was free. And also, you know, my local Odeon is never really very busy, but there were like quite a few people in at 10 a.m. on a Saturday morning to see Predator Badlands, which is really fills me with hope for the Predator franchise. So I was really surprised to see that many screenings of it. But that's the power of Disney, I suppose, isn't it? Although Disney's got the distribution on Begonias, why aren't they hammering that at Odeon as well?
It's true. We should really get sponsored by Odeon, shouldn't we? Because we've given them 2 name drops already. We need to find some other cinemas like Everyman, View, Cineworld. Here you go, guys. You're getting your advertisement now.
I don't think they sponsor us because we're slagging off that they won't play Begonia enough for me.
Well, they need to. They have the right to reply, so they can tell us why you can't watch Bugonia. But yeah, so those are 2 of the big sci-fi films out at cinemas at the moment. In terms of dates, like we said, Predator Badlands is already out. Bugonia is already out. Coming out later in the month, which may already be out by the time we release this. I'm not very good with dates, Matt. What can I say? But out this month as well is The Running Man, directed by Edgar Wright. Now, we covered The Running Man in our Dystopia series with Rob Watts, and this is the film we talked about then has finally been made, the new remake of The Running Man, with Edgar Wright, no less, based on a Stephen King novel, set in a dystopian future where there's a deadly game show which pits contestants against runners who are the runners against these assassins for a massive cash prize. And it's starring Glenn Powell. It looks like it could be really good. It's Edgar Wright, so you'd imagine he's going to do a good job of it. Did you see his last film? Last Night in Soho. Did you see that?
No, I never saw Last Night in Soho, actually. Was that good? I love Edgar Wright, but I haven't seen that one.
I enjoyed it, mainly because it's set in London, and I'm very used to seeing the sights of London, but it was also like had a kind of a flashback to the 60s. It didn't get like as great reviews as I thought it was going to get, but it was an enjoyable ride. But it feels very different to this. Like Running Man feels like Edgar Wright's going back to his sort of more actiony roots, sort of a la Baby Driver and Scott Pilgrim, sort of the comedy mixed with the sort of more exciting set piece stuff.
Yeah, I've got really high hopes for this. I think like Running Man is not like top of my list for like a modern remake. You know, I'm not particularly interested in that, but you throw Edgar Wright in the mix and I'm really excited about this film. I think it could hit really big, and I'm going to be there opening day.
Are you a big Glenn Powell fan as well? He's dreamy. He's dishy.
He's dreamy. I don't know what I think of Glenn Powell, to be honest. I haven't actually seen him in that many things. I thought he was fine in the Top Gun movie that I saw. But I'm interested to see what Edgar Wright can get out of him, because he's charming and he's got a good, he's funny. I think if Edgar Wright can bring out that side of him, that could be really promising.
Did you see Twisters?
No, I didn't.
Twisters.
I mean, that doesn't appeal to me at all.
He's playing a sexy cowboy running after tornadoes proper tornado hunter.
He's playing the classic archetype of the sexy cowboy tornado hunter.
Yeah, the classic.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, that's when
I know the type.
Yeah.
I know. I've met a few sexy cowboy tornado hunters in my day, James.
I have no doubt there's plenty knocking around. What else do we have not in cinemas, what do we have now streaming? I think it's in a few cinemas, but...
Has it? You're talking about Frankenstein.
I am. I'm
the
dropping
Del Toro
clues, but
movie.
not letting people know.
I didn't know it had a theatrical run. Is that because they want to get some awards for it?
I think so, yes. But it feels like that theatrical run is very limited. Speaking of cinemas again, it's in Everyman Cinema. I walked past an Everyman Cinema and saw Frankenstein as one of the headlines that they had on there in the nice letters that they've got at the front of the cinema.
We're not on the BBC, James. I'm always so worried about undue prominence of cinema brands that we're mentioning.
Look, I'm always thinking about like equal advertisement for all.
I'll tell you where it's not playing.
Where is it not playing? Oh yeah,
My Localodian. But I have got Netflix, so it's fine. I'm not bothered.
Phew, okay.
I'm looking forward to this. I haven't got around to watching it yet. It is out at the time of recording. We have been a bit overloaded with Frankenstein movies at the moment. We've been watching a ton of them for our Mad Science series. But no better time for us, I think, to watch a new reimagining of it. So I'm excited to see what Del Toro has done with it.
Yes, and I've been served lots of images of this on my Instagram, and like all of the reels that keep coming up are showing about all of this crazy set design that he's got. It's really luscious. It's very sort of imaginative. All of these over-the-top sculptures and carved heads and faces all over the place. There's a massive Medusa at the back of Frankenstein's lab. All of this stuff to make it really kind of over the top and feel very Del Toro. So I feel like it's going to look like a Del Toro film, obviously, but I think that's going to give it something which I haven't really seen in a Frankenstein film before. This kind of fantastical nature to it. So it's going to be interesting watching that and then comparing it to the other iterations of the Frankenstein story we've seen in our Mad Science series.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be an interesting one.
What do you think about the cast?
I love Oscar Isaac. I'm excited to see him as Frankenstein. I don't really know Jacob Elordi that well.
Yeah, I am not sure about this. So I was talking to someone the other day, and they said Jacob Elordi took the job very last minute. So I don't know if that's going to translate on screen, because I think he just got a call and they were like filming in the next 3 weeks or something ridiculous. So he went straight from that into filming, from having this call from Del Toro. So I don't know if he was the first pick or if he was down the line somewhere and someone's like, hey, Jacob Elordi, give him a go.
Okay.
I mean, he's massively tall, so he's got that part of the of the monster, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, just need a tall guy and you'll be fine.
What is out on the small screen? Frankenstein's out on the small screen, but TV series that you're looking forward to this month, James?
Have you heard of Pluribus?
Kind of. I've seen a lot of ads for Pluribus, but I don't know anything about it because they are very cryptic. I know behind the scenes stuff about it. I know that it's Vince Gilligan working with Ray Seahorn, who I've just watched in Better Call Saul, and I thought she was fantastic. But the ads give very little away about what the show is about. It looks like, in the way that Severance is sort of a mystery show with sci-fi hooks, Pluribus looks like it's in a similar way. Have you seen any of Pluribus yet?
No, but I've watched a few trailers and tried to decipher what's going on. I played the trailer to my girlfriend and she was like, I don't know, it doesn't really tell me anything. And
It really doesn't.
She's not wrong. It doesn't tell you anything from the trailer. But from what I can decipher online, it's set around a character who is, quote unquote, the most miserable person on Earth, who finds herself uniquely immune to a mysterious virus that transforms the rest of humanity into overly optimistic citizens. So I think you get that from the trailer. I don't really want to know much more than that going into this.
Yeah, I kind of don't want to know too much. It's clear that they're going for a bit of a mystery thing. They're betting big on Vince Gilligan's name attached to it and then trying to keep the mystery shrouded. So I'm happy to go along with that gamble. I trust Vince Gilligan, and Ray Seahorn is brilliant as well. So maybe it's best to not know.
Yeah, I think so. It's going to be a 9-episode series on Apple TV. That comes out very soon. So, yeah, I'm going to be checking that one out to see what all the fuss is about. The other big series that is coming soon to streaming on Netflix, which you may or may not have seen a few advertisements about around here and there, a little show called Stranger Things.
I actually haven't seen
Have
many
you not?
adverts. James, I mean, this is the algorithm at work. I've never seen a single minute of Stranger Things.
Wow.
And my algorithm is clearly aware of that because I also haven't received a single advert for it. You sent us a text message. You texted us a reel about all the homework that you have to do to watch season 5. And I was like, I'm not going to do that. And also, it was such a disparate range of movies that are the influences of season 5.
Yeah.
I watched that reel of the Duffer Brothers talking about it. I just thought, what is this show? What is this about?
Yeah, they're saying like, oh, the new series has, you need to have seen Great Escape, The Children of Men, Carrie,
All the Back to the Future films.
Back to the Future, like all of these, basically any kind of like 90s, 80s popular film, popular genre film. If you've seen that, you'll be okay watching this. And it said the main thing they said was go back and watch series 1. Which, of course, I'm doing because I'm a completist. Now I have to watch all of them before I watch this new series because I'm crazy.
Well, I don't blame you as well because I don't know anything about Stranger Things because I haven't watched it. It's a real huge phenomenon that's completely passed me by. But the one thing I do know is that it's taken them an incredibly long time to make 5 seasons of television. So I'm not surprised you need to go back and watch season 1 because it's also it's an early part of the binge watching culture, isn't it? It was early Netflix streaming days when they were releasing whole seasons in one go. So you may have watched season 1 across a handful of days, nearly 10 years ago. So I don't blame you if you feel like you need to go back and watch season 1 to understand what's going on in season 5.
I think that's the only way to do it as well. And I remember it got lots of critiques at the beginning for being it's too nostalgia based. But I think, if anything, that's proven to be not a problem because everything is nostalgia based now. So everything is going back to those 90s and 80s nostalgia sort of driven stuff that sort of millennials will buy into, all of this kind of stuff.
The millennial cash cow.
Yeah, exactly. But I am looking forward to watching this. I think it's going to be, they're marketing it as a big spectacle. Episodes 1 to 4 come out on the 26th of November. Volume 2, episodes 5 to 7 on 25th of December. And then Volume 3, the finale, comes out the 31st of December. So they're gonna run through it before the end of the year, and all of these kids, which have grown up in front of our eyes, won't be seen on Stranger Things ever again because the series will be done.
They're all going to die.
They're all going to die. That's what's going to happen at the end. But yes, so that is what's happening in the world of TV and film at the moment, and the things we are looking forward to. Do we have any listener questions in our mailbag, Matt?
You've got mail.
Let's move on to the mailbag. So Malcolm has written to us and said, with this week's re-release in cinemas of the classic Back to the Future, if you could make a time machine, what would you make it out of and where would you go? James?
Ooh, what would I make a time machine out of? It would have to be really convenient. I think when we did our time travel series, we talked about time machines need to be mobile. So you need to be able to take them with you in order for them to be practical. So could be a vehicle. I'd quite like to make a time machine out of like a suit that I can put on.
Nice.
Like just really casual.
Like a casual suit, like clothes, or are you thinking like an astronaut suit?
I feel like I wouldn't be able to get away with transporting in different time periods with like an astronaut suit.
Well, it depends where you want to go. That's the other part of the question. True. Where would you go and when?
Where would I go? I would like to go to the 50s and watch one of those like B movies, like the sort of like the drive-in films.
Oh, that's sweet.
And do that. That'd be quite fun.
What a romantic sort of idealism you have of time travel. That's so nice. You just go back and dreamy Americana.
Yeah. And kill Hitler, you know. Those two things and I'm done. What would you do? And what's your time machine looking like?
The thing that popped into my head immediately was Homer Simpson making a time machine out of a toaster in that Halloween special of The Simpsons. That was the only thing that popped into my head. It's convenient. You can carry it around
Great.
as well, and as you say, that's important. So I'd make it out of a toaster. And then I was thinking about where would I go? And I really like the depiction of the quantum computer in Devs, using it to re-simulate the entirety of history and answer all these big questions and, Jesus on the cross and the Big Bang and all of that. So that's the kind of thing I'd do. Like the Big Bang and I'd love to see a dinosaur,
That would be
see
cool.
dinosaurs interacting with each other. Did they have feathers? That kind of thing. So I think that's what I'd do. Go back really far, prehistory.
We did cover Sound of Thunder on the Patreon feed, and that proved that you have to be very careful as you're going back and looking at dinosaurs. I mean, you probably have to be careful.
And Homer learned that lesson with the toaster, James. So I'm well prepared. Don't worry.
You know what's happening. Oh, I'm glad you brought up Devs as well. I haven't seen Devs in a while. I need to go back and watch
But the
that.
Devs was kind of disembodied from the action that it was looking at, so it's perfectly safe from the butterfly effect ramifications.
Yeah. Another little plug, we do have a Devs mini-series on the feed if you've watched Devs, guys. So go back and listen to that if you fancy. There's lots of us. I remember when we watched Devs, it was just us trying to predict what's going to happen in the next episode for the majority of that series. But it was fun.
Probably a more enjoyable podcast if you haven't seen all of Devs and you watch it along with us than if you've seen the whole of Devs and you're listening to us trying to figure out what's going on from the beginning.
It's been like, who are these idiots just getting the plot wrong every single chance they get? But yeah, thanks for reminding me about Devs. What else do we have here? Oh, so Jake put a message on our Patreon feed, and I thought was a really good sort of conversation start. So I wanted to bring this one up on the podcast. So he puts The Thing and The Predator. This is his hot take. The Thing and The Predator are two movies that needed to edit the opening sequence. If I could redo those movies, they'd both start 1 minute later. Now he's got reasoning behind this, but just based on that, what do you think about that? Re-editing the beginning of those films. Do you want a bit more context?
What happens at the beginning of those films that you'd want to skip through?
Well, the reason that his reasoning behind it, he went on to elaborate about that, was because basically when he first watched them on TV, he did the old thing where you come in a bit of the way through because you missed the beginning of the film, which happened on nearly everything I used to tape off of the TV back in the day. So in those openings, they kind of establish that there's an alien. So in the Thing, I think there's a crash or something like that. I think it's the same with Predator. So you know what's coming. And he said it's the not knowing that makes them scarier. So you kind of unravel the mystery, and that's part of the horror of it. So in The Thing, he said that he came in the dog scene and he was like, what the hell is going on? When the dog turns into an alien and all of that stuff's happening, which is very unnerving, not what you expect. And he said later when he rewatched both of those films from the start, he realized obviously they're revealing the alien element straight away. So you lose some of that suspense and that discovery. So do you think that's a fair point?
It's hard. It's just so hard with films like The Predator and The Thing because I think those two in particular, maybe not when they came out, but now it's impossible to decouple them from what they are about. They're just two absolutely massive alien movies, aren't they? So how can you ever escape that kind of legacy? And it's almost impossible to enjoy them with fresh eyes. I think it's still brilliant films, but you can't go in blind to films that are that big in the popular culture, I think. So I don't know if you can really circumvent that.
But just if it had come out now and they chopped off that minute sequence at the beginning, do you think it would have been more effective? Or
maybe, but it would just still get out, wouldn't it? With trailers.
Yeah, that's the thing. I think now you can't really have that as much because the amount of trailers I watched at the cinema where they just explained the entire plot. I think it's the new Anaconda film that they were talking about.
Oh my God, yeah. I saw the trailer for that.
Literally beat for beat, they've told me exactly how that's going to go.
A really old school trailer. Yeah. The whole film is in the trailer.
So I was okay. So I think, that's the sort of problem with that. But I do like that as a concept though, Jake, the idea of keeping that suspense to add to the horror and not telling you exactly what's going on. I think obviously films have done that since, but it's a very interesting point. And I do kind of miss that back in the day. You'd watch the TV and you come halfway into a film and be trying to figure out what it is, not having a TV guide to hand and just trying to sort of put the pieces together.
Do you know what? I think Jake is a budding fan editor. You know what, Jake? If you've got a better idea for how those movies are put together, you need to make a fan edit.
Ooh.
And we'll see. And we need to see it. I'm a proponent of the fan edit. Spice Divers edit of David Lynch's Dune. It's better than the Lynch version. And the re-edits, the Star Wars films, the restorations of the originals, and the what is it, the Phantom Cut or whatever it is, the re-edit of the episode 1. Get stuck in, Jake. Make a better version, and we'll see if it works better.
Yeah, definitely. I would love to see that. That's it for questions this week. We love hearing from you guys here on the podcast. So if you have any questions, any hot takes, any stories about experiences in watching sci-fi films, let us know. Just get in touch on one of our many social sites.
What have we got coming up on our show in the next few weeks, James?
Well, we've already had a packed out November, much like the cinema schedules. We have a bonus episode of Prey, which is already out. We have recently put out our episode on Reanimator and Poor Things of our Mad Science series. And there's a special Patreon episode going out today as well, isn't there, Matt?
Yeah, we have watched Predator Badlands. We talked about it earlier. We've done a whole episode on Patreon. So head on over to patreon.com/journey through sci-fi if you want to sign up and hear our Badlands review.
Yeah, we've definitely got some hot takes on that one. And also later in the month, we'll be returning to our Mad Science series to talk about the adventures of Buckaroo Banzai across the 8th dimension and the City of Lost Children. So that'll be coming to the feed very soon.
And then back on Patreon, we will be talking about the aforementioned Running Man, Edgar Wright's new movie. Looking forward to discussing that. That'll be out on November the 21st.
Yes, so a packed out schedule here on Journey Through Sci-Fi. Lots to listen to and lots to cover. So we're going to be busy, aren't we, Matt?
Yes, thank you very much for listening to this Future Frontiers. Do subscribe to the show if you want to hear more from us. We'll be back here on the main feed with more main episodes soon.
If you want to reach us, you can find us all over social media. We are at Through Sci-Fi or at Through Sci-Fi Pod. And you can always go onto the website, which is journeythroughsci-fi.com.
Please do leave us a review if you haven't done so already. It's a free and easy way to support the show. Please leave us 5 stars with a comment about why you like the show. It really helps us and it helps new listeners find us.
And we really, really appreciate it. It's lovely to read those.
We do.
Please do it. And if you want another way to support the show, you can always come and join us on Patreon.
That's all for now. We'll be back very soon.
Bye.